Here we go. Is it all going okay? Yes. Excellent. Ah, terrible. There we are. Speak here. Once you have arrived. Wow, right is right. I am a bit rough on that keyboard sometimes. But oh well. Excuse me. Use the space there anyway. Right, I'm gonna keep going over what I'm doing. Until someone says a message. There we are. Let's try again. Perfect. Now for all the crazy stuff to happen, of course. What was the longest one's gone on this game without any dying happening rather? And here we go. Yep, it's a bit disjointed already. So optimize. There we go. Ah, that's what I'm after. Disinfecting wounds and bandages. Yeah. It's not my door they're knocking on. Let's find out. There you are. Let's check. Oh wow! Quite a few. Right. Get behind. Right, let's see if they've got anything useful. Ooh! Map on the game called Project Zomboid. In the top left it says, but on this map I've got it on a high risk, high reward type of setup, so more zombies, but more gear. So normally it's more oh crap. More sparsely populated. More sparsely populated and more sparsely filled with loot. So it's generous. But of rolling an actual one critical miss. So tempting. There we go. Oh. That's like it's not doing well today. Complete picture. Time for the next knife. Okay, these knives are going clicking. Tripped again. Just right here. Is that burnt? Ah, it's burnt. Measure. In fact, let's take one of these. There we are, put all in the bin. He's dexterous. Come get some. surprised no one's asking questions on a, in the title, Q&A session, but there you go. I will wait until it happens. But seriously guys, if you are there, you know, I've only got a delay on there of about 12 seconds to prevent spamming. In fact, yes, I said it exactly 12 seconds. Oh, come on, Brooke. Of course it broke. You zombie. Grab this one. Yes, it's in a poorer condition. I'm not wasting my inventory with a half-used. Wow! Must be Zombie Pride Day today. Finish them on the floor. This is here. Guide. Alright. Approach this. There we are, blindsided them with the house. Stupid. Ah. Actually a critical hit. I don't even start flying back. Well, that recoiling from the hit. You just immediately fall to the floor. Usually means they're not long for this world. I like the idea of it being third person for extra perspective, but yet using view cones so you can't look behind you without physically looking behind you. Really could do that more in games. It shows you how. I tried and tested. Fog of War, whatever you call it. Faded vision. Oh, aha! Joshua, and of course, happy birthday. Oh well, now things will get kicking, just like these zombies. Yes, it is. The same game as last time. Project Zomboid. And clear quite the predicament. Just like last time. With a custom design, normally you wouldn't have nearly as many zombies unless you had it set on some more extreme settings. But I've geared it in a custom way. Oh yes. God, I really hope it doesn't do that. I have no idea why. I might switch from Game Show, which is hosting this at the moment, out to something else if it really starts getting... Oh! Hello, Mr. Nobody. Not seen you before, but welcome. funny. I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but I was actually going to do a review of this game. You know, from a historical European martial arts perspective. Obviously, it goes without saying that the combat is fairly unrealistic. Every time you take a swing, you have to stop. I'm taking those odds. Come on, there we are. Things out for stragglers. Oh dear. Anyone who sees me on Fallout 4 in the future and wonders why I'm set at luck 1, here we are. Yes, love to. Huh? Ah, Roman Gladius test video. Now, remember what I said in the comment on that video? It helps if you add that step. It might seem a bit weird. I mean, if you look at, I think when people are doing things like swinging baseball bats and that sort of stuff, and indeed a lot of times when doing test cutting, it's a standard habit. Not saying anything against you personally, but usually they don't add that sort of body into it except for maybe the shoulder twist and stuff like that. But if you add a step, just literally imagine it like walking. I've mentioned this before on other historical European martial arts videos I've done. But if you add a step, just one step forward, nothing extreme in a lunge or anything over the top, just an ordinary walking type step. It adds that momentum of the body into the swing, and yet it's not as tiring unless, you know, well, I suppose it might be more tiring for people out of shape like me, but it certainly gives more power and more range into a strike. It's one of the things that happens in sparring and such things. People can look like they're out of range and like they're not going to give much of a powerful stroke, and then no, of course it goes without saying that one of the things that really helps in doing test cutting is sharpness. So you see certain things like cold steel, and you can see... Huh? What do I do in my channel? Well, pretty much like I've put in the title of this, around things like sword fighting, as in the real deal, not just, you know, what you see on television. So misconceptions aside, the proper stuff, based on my martial arts experience in European sword fighting from Fiore de Liberi's treatises, which dates to about the 1400s. Very good stuff. And apart from that, like I say, archery. Sometimes I do reviews, so, I mean, I've reviewed things like... Oh, my music starts. This is getting serious. That's right. But yes. So, I've reviewed a few things like the cold steel machete I've got, this old sword I got for my 18th birthday, a few things. But I try to focus on stuff like, I've done a lot of talk videos, I'd ideally want to do, you know, actually showing techniques and show how these things are done, and I've tried that a couple of times, but the main problem is I actually need to have a second person. I can maybe show a couple of things like, you know, how a basic cut is done, but anything more in depth, you know, from there, I have to actually have a second person resisting, otherwise I'm just massacring the air. Which is... I mean, I could sort of try to explain, but... Yeah. Admittedly, Joshua, they do have some nice, sharpish weapons, and, you know, they're fairly robust. I've seen things like their cutlasses, you know, they've got full tang hilts with peening, and, you know, really good stuff that keeps it durable. And I've been using my cold steel machete for many years now, and I am truly impressed with just the cutting capacity and how it's retaining its edge. It's not just like some soft-tempered edges where it just sort of dulls easily and I'm having to sharpen it more times than I can bloody cut with it. But overall, however, cold steel don't do the best in terms of swords. They especially tend to do I'd call it a reenactment feel. A bit like you end up with the Hanway swords I reviewed. They've got that heft and they've got that weight, but it's actually unrealistic. Normally a sword, regardless of where it comes from, you know, the Oriental swords, your Western, European swords, whatever, normally weapons are fairly lightweight and sharp, whereas stuff like cold steel and handweight, they tend to do kind of heavy, lumpy swords. I mean, it's sort of like when you've got that stereotype about how medieval knights had really heavy iron bar-like swords and just smashed each other with them. It's almost like they're trying to make it true, you know? It's not normally, but with those swords it bloody well is. So... Debunking video on which thing specifically? He's done tons of debunking videos. Or do you mean about sort of... I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like Metatron in general. But no, I don't play Counter-Strike Go or Counter-Strike Source, to be honest. Tend not to be too much of a fan of multiplayer, to be honest. Maybe I'm just pessimistic. I tend not to enjoy being around other players so much because they tend to, you know... Sort of... Alright, debunking of Cold Steel merchandise. So yeah, they've... I can't remember much of it specifically, but I know that most of his debunking videos are pretty good. You know, he brings up some fair points. And even when he's responding, it's like I did a response video to him about if people... I think I have. It sounds familiar, and I've certainly seen I think I've seen all of Metatron's debunking videos, but, you know... I remember what a lot of people have said about people in Cold Steel, and... you know, sort of can't remember which one specifically Metatron's. But my perspective on Metatron, however, is that although he comes from the right place, puts his heart and soul into it, and he's certainly trying. It's not like a game theory where he just, you know, takes any old stereotype and just say, oh yeah, this is how it was. But yeah, that would sound about right. I mean, again, Cold Steel are pretty good with their durability, but you can tell that the characters, well, but the developers, like Lynn C. Thompson, who actually is the CEO, I think, and appears in his own videos. Now, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not complaining because he's overweight or anything like that. I've got someone in my club who's, you know, fairly overweight himself and really amazing of a saber, but the CEO that I'm talking about, unfortunately, doesn't actually put any proper technique. I mean, if you've ever seen his videos, even when he's using something like a knife, you know, a lightweight thing that you can cut 2 million times within a picosecond, those things. And he swings and he flails off into the sunset. You know, he's swung, and you'd have to be careful if you were standing behind him, even though he's cutting directly in front. Presumably, it's a half a pig carcass or whatever he's cutting at a time. And yes, I mean, you know, it's not like it's awful. It's something where I could nitpick and debunk. Again, you know, his technique is fairly poor. But I mean, to be honest, the videos are there to test and sort of demonstrate the Cold Steel blades, and I think it does that reasonably well. It shows, you know, here are the Cold Steel blades, they're fairly durable, they're fairly sharp. The main complaints I'd have is probably just the arrogance. It might be an American thing, you know, where they need to sort of... A bit like I see on stuff like History Channel, where they say wushu is one of the deadliest martial arts, or in the case of Cold Steel, the world's sharpest, strongest knives. But it feels arrogant, personally. I mean, they're not the sharpest knives, and they're not the strongest knives. So telling everyone that they are is, to me, it's not really something you should be doing. Again, it's not. It obviously hasn't stopped me from buying from them, because actually stuff like their Cold Steel machete I've got, it's great. You know, I love it. It's just not the best in the world. Anyway, Battleground, and I don't even know what PUBG stands for, so that's a definite no. The sorts of games I've got that are multiplayer, Gary's mod I tend to play on even nowadays. Grand Theft Auto, a couple of things like that. Like I say, I'm mainly have got single player games, so stuff like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout. Oh, UPG is battleground. Right, you see. Well, admittedly, a lot of the stuff, I mean, of course, our history is better, so it's easier to have, you know, museums and big collections of weapons, like the Royal Armouries Museum I visited back then, and stuff like that. But in terms of reproductions, actually, I'll be honest, as much as I'm a patriot for Britain, which somehow might come through in my videos, I don't know, but America and, you know, I guess Asia, I'm not sure, but they seem to have pretty good... Yeah, I mean, you have pretty good stuff. I'll give you one example. Although the name actually means a sort of a fantasial name for Britain, typically, which is Albion. Albion swords, as far as I remember, are based, you know, they're from America, and actually, they produce really good reproduction swords. It's one of those things where it's going to be high-end, I don't know, I mean... I don't know how rich you are, you know, I'm not going to make any assumptions, so I'm just going to say it's very much high quality, high price sort of end of the market. So, you know, if you're looking at, I mean, they've got different ranges on their own websites. They've got stuff like, they got names like Squire and Maestro. Quick answer to you, Miss Nobody. I've been streaming for probably a few weeks, about maybe a month or two maximum. I've only recently been experimenting with streaming. It's because I managed to get a microphone. But yes, like I was saying, America, I mean, don't put yourself down. The United States actually is a pretty good place in terms of manufacturing. I mean, again, Cold Steel, they're alright, you know. They're not awful, so I'd count them as reasonably good. Albion, I don't know all of the manufacturers, but I know there are a few others. There's some weird places like Cult of Athena or something. I don't know where they're based, but I think they're based in the States or maybe in Canada, somewhere in the New World anyway. So, yeah, overall, the States have pretty good reproduction weapons. And actually, in terms of their HEMAs in historical European martial arts community, they're pretty good as well. So, I'd say they're basically, I mean, let's be honest, I tend to call the United States the baby Brits because they pretty much are, you know, they're very much like Britain in their culture and the things they do and the things they like. You've got much of the same sports, and it applies to stuff like, you know, reenactment and historical European martial arts and the stuff they manufacture. There's plenty of choice, there's plenty of people interested and involved, so it's as good as Europe, even if the medieval history clearly originally comes from Europe. But, you know, I mean, it's not going to make much difference. I'm a modern man, I've got a bit of a hunchback from playing too many computer games, and I know all the stuff like lols and ruffles and all that nonsense, and I'm not a medieval man, so as far as I'm concerned, the only thing we Brits and similar people have got going for us may be the landscape that we're physically on and the voices. Apart from that, we're in the same boat as United Statesmen. How do you mean? Is it available in stream? Hang on, let's check everything's going okay. It's not lagging on there, is it? No, it's not. Good. I've had these things freeze before, but yeah. So Project Zomboid is on its own manufacturer's website, the Indie Stone, and it is also on Steam. It's going. When I bought it a couple of years ago or so, it was about £15. I don't know what that is in other currencies, but either way, that is your sort of, you know, in-game, reasonable quality kind of stuff. I do like Project Zomboid. They've been updating they've been doing stuff. It's like they've got a whole health system here, so if I've got scratches, shards of glass from climbing through broken windows, stuff like that, or even if I've been gunshot, they've got all sorts of stuff. You kind of disinfect wounds, you've got to bandage up, if you've got a deep wound, you've got to stitch it up so it doesn't bleed out. Excuse me, stuff like that. And of course you've got your skills, which have been going on for ages. They've been expanded though. You've got stuff like electrical and metalworking, very recent. Foraging is slightly less recent, but still something that's been developed since I bought the game. So, you know, they're really... I've not played Chivalry Medieval Warfare, but I wasn't really impressed with it, to be honest. I saw gameplay videos of it. I refer back to one of my earlier points, online, you know, multiplayer, I've got to depend on other humans. I don't think I'm good for team sports. I mean, if I'm with people I trust, like when I'm with my best friend Ryan or my HEMA club, it's great, but when I'm with strangers, I find they tend to be... And no, I haven't played Black Ops 2. In fact, for most popular games, your default answer is probably a no. I mean, I'm a bit of a cheapskate when it comes to games, really. And I am... It might be something I'll cover in a video one day. It's a sort of personality trait, maybe something to gauge discussion. You get certain types of players. Yes, I said earlier, I've got Gary's mod. I've been playing it, in fact, I played it today. My favourite game modes are Zombie Survival and Trouble in Terrorist Town. I love murder mysteries. Favourite role was a detective. Anyway, there was I. Yeah, Chivalry wasn't very good. It seemed fairly sort of basic, and again, it required a good connection. So with my previous internet connection, it wasn't good either. Upgraded now. Apart from that, oh yes, in terms of the type of gamer I call myself a sort of a unique category. I am what I'd call a cinematic player. So you get some people who are they're kind of completionists. You know, they want to get all the stuff. They want to get 100% completion. They want to get all the achievements. Maybe if they're hidden collectibles and stuff like that. Yes, I have got Minecraft. You know, they want to do that. You've got your sort of serious players, maybe more professionally want to be the best at maybe Call of Duty or something. And then you've got people like me, we're sort of recreational, and I mean, it's like on Fallout 4, I sometimes deliberately, I don't have this sort of military outfit that is sort of I've armoured up with, I don't know, ballistic fibre of some sort in the crafting, and it gives a bonus to strength and agility, but yet, despite the clear and universal advantage to wearing it, I still occasionally switch back to my base layer being the Vault 101 uniform, because it's kind of like a superhero outfit, you know. The people from the settlements kind of go, oh, we need your help, and then here's the man with the blue and yellow suit here. There's the superhero. I don't think Project Zomboid is on console. It's an indie game. It's, you know, it's one of those things where they haven't got that many people working on it. I mean, they've got a fair few. You know, they've got a reasonable amount, but you know, it's not AAA gaming as Jim Sterling likes to call it. It's not that sort of high grade, you know, stuff where they can develop loads of languages, have it on consoles all over the place, including consoles you've not heard of and all the rest. It's just, it might have more languages, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I think it is in a couple of other languages, but it's definitely not on consoles. I'm not even sure if they've got controller, you know, Steam controller compatibility. Yeah, it's just one of the reasons why I'm playing it, to be honest, is because it's more... It's going to sound weird for the fact that I'm in quite intense combat right now, but it's more casual. You know, I can just pause it. Also, it's something that is easier for non-full screen. Something like Fallout 4, I think. I'm not even sure. Or where do I live? In Devonshire, which is southwest of Britain. If you ever hear of Land's End, that is, if you look at the Britain, it kind of looks like a high heel boot or something. And you've got kind of the south, you know, the southeastern kind of section around where, in the heel, let's call it, which is around where you're starting to look at London and those areas. In the toe part, the very sort of bottom left tip, is Cornwall, and Land's End is right on the very tip. Devonshire is the county next to Cornwall. So it's in the southwest. In terms of, if you look at regional stereotypes, farmers with their potatoes, lots of tratters, maybe Samwise Gamgee might come from there, you know, from the shires and having a nice time, living with about 20 people in their little hamlet. Everybody knows them. Okay, it's funny though, because it sort of crosses over with a pirate accent, and that is not a coincidence, because a lot of pirates and wreckers came from Cornwall. Not all of them, not necessarily, but, you know, a fair few pirates came from Cornwall. So you've got that crossover. It's an accent that can make some poor, you know, unimportant nobody type character in a film for a farmer, which would be around, you know, Cornwall, Devonshire, Somerset is the next county over from there, and then you've got these badass black-beard pirates, all with the same accents. Even though I think Edward Teach was from the north, possibly Scotland or somewhere. The objective of the game, in Project Zomboid, the objective of the game is to die. The game literally tells you at the beginning as you're loading it, this is how you die. So essentially your objective is just to survive as long as possible. And there are many ways to do that. That's what I like. You can do what I'm doing, which is typical for me. You can murder everything in sight, and actually, it's not like some games, like Dead Rising, where the zombies are constantly respawning. I'm making piles of bodies, and it'll take a very long time for them to migrate back again. It's a very slow respawn process. What? Real life? Don't know what you mean, sorry. Maybe I'm distracted by all this murder. But yeah, I have a... What? Uh-oh. Oh! That is a punch. You get certain grades of injuries, by the way. You get sort of little slight injury from them trying to grab and bite you and all the rest. It doesn't do much. You recover, it's fine. You've got scratches, which have a 25% or slightly lower, depending on your perks, chance to infect you, and you'll become a zombie. You've got bites, which are almost guaranteed. I think it's something like 97% chance you are infected. And, well, actually, those are the three, that's it. So I'm just going to show here, you've got your perks, you start your character, you actually start off all tabula rasa, blank slate, no perks, no penalties, completely ordinary, not recommended by the way, it's boring just being completely ordinary. So you get to choose an occupation. So you'll see that they've actually starting off with low fitness, out of shape. Asthmatic specifically reduces fatigue a lot from running. Conspicuous, you've got inconspicuous, so a lot of these have their antithesis. So out of shape you've got fit, asthmatic doesn't have one. Conspicuous has its antithesis, inconspicuous. Conspicuous means I get spotted easier by zombies, you know, they'll see me quicker and from further away. Inconspicuous, the opposite, I can blend in more easily. Disorganised, there's antithesis organised. I can't store as many items in containers, because, you know, I don't arrange them as well. Hearty appetite speaks for itself. Require more food to survive for the needs. Sleepyhead, well, require more sleep. Again, also has an antithesis, light sleeper. Unlucky, antithesis lucky. Think unlucky and lucky affect loot distributions, chances of windows and doors being locked, and other such stuff. And as well as things like if there are going to be alarms in houses. I don't know if you saw it earlier. But I went into a house and it set off a burglar alarm, and that's why I've been chased for so long ever since. It's basically this crowd, and I've been losing parts and gaining new parts of the crowd steadily, trying to just murder my way through them all. Oh, gun, 9mm rounds. Anyway, clumsy. I don't think that has an oh wait, yes it does. Graceful. Anyway, clumsy means you get resources from trees. If I got an axe, I can cut a tree down, get its wood. I could destroy a door, get planks from that, and containers are stuffed with loot. Also, the zombies occasionally have some stuff. Like if I want to make improvised bandages, I could just steal any of their clothing. Vests, trousers, jumpers, I mean, you know, sweaters, whatever you want to call them. And then rip them up into sheets. And then those sheets I can either put directly onto a wound, or I can use stuff like whiskey or a disinfectant bottle I got, and then I can disinfect the bandages or disinfect wounds directly, so that all ties into the medical system. Very useful stuff. I haven't needed it yet because I am not going to get touched, except that punch I got earlier, which was bad luck. So yeah, clumsy increases the noise I make when walking around. Which sounds about right. I am quite noisy and conspicuous in real life. Axeman is a specific occupational trait. I have picked lumberjack. I gain a point of strength, and I gain a point in skills for blade accuracy, and I also gain the Axeman perk, which makes me swing faster, specifically with axes. By the way, no, there are no bosses. This is a realistic zombie simulator. So you've got faster zombies. The zombies are sometimes weaker or stronger, faster or slower. Obviously, you've got male and female zombies. They're planning on adding more diversity later on, with, you know, stuff like firemen zombies and stuff like that. I don't know if they'll have armor. I hope they do. Armor is always useful. But yeah, they're based on realistic zombies. There are no bosses that puke on you or do weird stuff that I just find is ridiculous. It was actually one of the things I didn't like about Dying Light, despite the fact I said I loved that game. So anyway, beyond that I've got Dexterous. If I'm picking up items or putting them on the floor in containers... Actually, where is... I'm too tired to fight effectively. Anyway, so yeah, I transfer items quicker basically. Dexterous of course has all thumbs as its antithesis. Iron gut, just like me in real life. You don't get as easily poisoned from stuff like rotten food, or eating the wrong types of berries, you forage, that sort of stuff, wrong types of mushrooms again, which is another skill, foraging. Whereas weak stomach is the antithesis. Baseball player doesn't have an antithesis. It gives me accuracy in blunt. Brave, which has the antithesis cowardice. If you look at these moodles, like exertion, how hungry I am, and I'm currently a bit hot. Panic reduces accuracy of firearms. It reduces my view cone, as you'll see in front of me. So these guys are going to fade out because I'm not looking at them presently. I can still hear. Yeah, it's basically, that's a good way to put it. It's a simulator, essentially. So, one thing to note is that this is not based in current times. This is actually based in the 1990s. In fact, the default settings set this in 1993. I have set the timer to 2017 because I was 1 year old in 1993, which doesn't make sense because bearded man as opposed to bold-faced child. Anyway, so yes. What else is that? Oh yes. So of course with brave and cowardly I get scared more easily or more slowly. It's still causing extreme panic because, well, there's an army following me right now. Oh, and there's another army. Oh, these guys are joining the army. It's like a world war. Oh yeah, World War Z. So yeah, apart from that, there's resilient. It follows a similar principle to Iron Gut. Although rather than being resilience to bad food, it's more related to resilience to disease. So if I do start to become a zombie, it'll happen slower, and it'll drain my health at a slower rate. As well as other diseases which will be implemented later, I am less likely to get, and they affect me at a slower pace. That's actually one point to note. When it comes to stuff like Iron Gut and the rest, it's not percentage based. It's not like you have 20% chance to get food poisoning. It's more like poison points. In fact, I actually looked into statistics. It is poison points. So if you drink bleach, it just puts the poison points through the roof. Doesn't matter if you're the best, the toughest survivor in the world, you just drank a bottle of bleach, you're going to die. Something like, you know, a small handful of poisonous berries. With Iron Gut, I'll feel a bit queasy, and then it'll wear off. And actually, things like queasy, sick, fever, those actually drain your health. And those will happen when you get zombified. It drains you through disease until you expire. Which of course is all noted in here. In fact, it will start to get until you get to fever, and then it'll get to the point where it's just extreme and it's very tough for you to try to keep up, and you're essentially just delaying the inevitable. And it'll even tell, instead of here, okay, terminal damage and everything in between, it'll just say zombified in big red text. Steam went offline? Let me check. Let's catch up with the live. Oops. Yeah, I was not trying to stop the streaming. I think it's this software, it's been giving problems before. I don't know why it keeps doing that, to be honest. I've tried experimenting with different settings. It might seem weird, but in this game, normally you do things like grow plants, craft barricades, and do stuff like that. I've just, well, I've been chased by these guys for a long time. In fact, yes, let's try with a conspicuous, clumsy, unlucky character who is out of shape and asthmatic. Try to see if I can escape these zombies and hide. Thanks. Yes! Well, to be honest, normally wouldn't be beating up zombies. It's just I've been consistently chased. Normally I'd be maybe around here. Ooh. Seeds. Read that book, but... Farming. Oh, farming for beginners. Skill books increase the multiplier of which your skill increases. Very useful. fact, I should actually be finding a safe spot to take a rest, because the reason I'm not hitting as hard and not causing as much recoil and going slower... Oh yeah, sorry. Again, this might not be the best representation of normal gameplay. I have put it on custom setting for its extreme zombies. In fact, that's what I was trying to do in between missions. Trying to beat these trying to beat up these zombies, and nowhere near much. Okay, right. Now they're all following me this way. I hope this door's unlocked. Of course not. My game is around here. Damn, I was gonna use the chair so I could quickly get out and fight again. But I'm not even going to be given a single second in that place. Have I died yet? What a silly question. This is what we're talking about. Let's stave off the hunger. Loads of skill points, but nothing to spend it on. I would run, maybe get sprinting, but I'm too tired to be at all effective. They can see me, they'll definitely be... You know what? That's not... Yeah, knew it. Too many zombies close by. I've been here before, actually. I once set a house up here. Not set a house up, you know, set up. Usually it's good to have a base of operations. Use a house like this. And... Damn it. I have... Maybe having high zombies was a bad... See if I can repair that hammer later on. Oh! Now I'm out here actually, this is a good foraging spot. So I can make an axe, which requires sheets, which I can get from ripping up this vest. Or the jumper, I guess. I could instead... Well no, I could use that or twine. Need a branch. And then a chipped stone. Don't think the zombies want to... Oh, here we are. Damn it. Oh yes, I can kill the zombies. Takes a bit more effort. Let's charge it up. One thing you do is charge up swings. Boo. Oh, come on. It's very difficult because moderate exertion. Let's see if I've got anything else. Have I got knives? No. I suppose I've gained skills in stuff like maintenance, so I can make it worth my while to spend a bit of durability with this. Boom! Hit 2 zombies at once. Oh, did not die. Whoops. Whoa! Coming from the trees. Come on, stream. Stupid thing. So, is it going okay? Ah, good. Oh dear. Let's lose them in the trees. Oh, that's close. So I can lose them with this line of sight. Ah, of course it's the old brute. Now, let's think this through. Yeah, I can use these tree lines, get them lost in there, and circle back to the house. Assuming nothing goes wrong on the way. One thing about holding ready to swing is it kind of acts... Oh! Switch to a new encoder after this. Am I connecting okay? It's fine. Yeah, there's the encoder. Ridiculous. But yeah, I paused it while he was going wacky, so you didn't really miss anything. I walked through the tree line. No, there isn't a zombie group past here. Aha! In fact, there are zombies ahead, so they all assume I'm back there. If I can get past along here, yeah, I can try another one of these houses. There we are. I can get onto all the other aspects of the game. Oh crap, there's an army down there. Phew, no burglar alarm. I thought, this is too good to be true. Or that there might be an army outside. You... Yeah. No, this is fine. I can deal with 3 of them. Yes! Let's get that ripped up. There we go. Let's clear some of the other areas. Oh. There's also electricity and water shut off after a certain number of months in the apocalypse. Could do with a saw. Means I can saw up, of course, planks, do stuff like that. There we go. Unlock. What's in the fridge? Well, that'll do. Oh, I've got a spare butter knife. Pop these away in my bag. There we go. Take a seeds packet so I can do some gardening later. A frying pan as an improvised weapon or to make dinner. Knife. Can I make anything of these? No, I can't. Not going to get flanked while I'm in here. In fact, safety route. Couple of things. Yeah. Here we are. Hammer's pretty good for fighting with. Now, I set up a farm. Yeah, I could set up a farm around here. Ouch, I have cut my hands open whilst digging. And there we are, scratched, bleeding. So, we shall. Let's demonstrate the medical system. Before I die, actually it's not going to be, it's going to be very slow. Sterilised rag. There we go. I did previously in a house see some proper stuff. I need to find a trowel to do the job properly. And stuff like magazines and newspapers provide entertainment, you know, for when the survivor gets bored, which doesn't happen when they're being murdered. Set them in. Oh, wrong weapon. One goes, one gets stabbed. Ah! Fine. I'll get you eventually. There we go. Let's see. Nope. Nothing useful. Let's not use the baseball bat for now. Fun fact, certain items like this can be used as tools. So if I want to get inside a barricaded house, or set up my own barricades, I nail and unnail things with a hammer. In fact, I can use a broken one, but I cannot use it as a weapon for this. Nothing useful. Haha! No, you cannot eat zombie corpses because, well, I mean, rotting flesh would test even my constitution. Disease would test even my constitution. And ethical reasons. Let's see. We seem to be okay for now. Now, let's see if I can find. Zombie over there spotted me. Bandage is dirty, but it's fine, I've got plenty, including a spare sterilised bandage. Of course, if the wound gets infected, it heals at a slower rate. Keep that for later. We're in West Point, so not useful right now. It looks like this is my temporary base of operations. In fact, better now? Oh, probably the bloody encoding software's playing up. Or it could be an issue at YouTube's end, hosting it. Although my best guess is the encoding software, so I'll experiment with that next time I do some live streaming. Perhaps I'll do more gaming live streams. I mean, heck, I play video games far too often, so maybe I can make some use out of it. Oh, this character's been hungry for a while. Oh yes, I was going to go upstairs. That is not a good sign. Zombies are coming a-knockin'. You've got nothing. Excuse me, underwear can be ripped into sheets. Stuff like headphones and alarm. Ripped apart. Ah! No. Uh-oh, I can see a pattern. I think they've already broken in. Oh wait, yeah, I didn't leave windows and doors open to stop them from breaking them about. As much as it's nice to have barriers during the day, at night it's even more important. I can't see properly. Silly Sims style cutaway. Avoid the window because if that smashes during swinging, which can happen, it will alert all of the zombies. Oh, there's zombies upstairs because they climbed up somehow, which I'm going to find out. Open window. That's one reason. Open door. Yeah, I've kept it all open. I do that during the day. Because then, stuff like windows act as temporary barriers during the night. Zombies cannot climb. Well, they can climb over obstacles like railings. Pretty much same as a player can do. Also, they can climb through open windows, so I can do that. So can a zombie. But going through things like doors and windows, they just bash on them all day. Now, things are fairly safe, so let's get this sterilized. Now, would be going to sleep. The character's fairly tired, which will reduce their view cone and things like that. General awareness. Ah, locked. There we go. But yes, certain structures. Oh! Never mind. Unlucky. Again. I've got to be careful in here. Yep. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! It's difficult to see in here, but if they detect me, shoot. It's the only way in or out. Gotta fight them off. They corner me with bajillions of them. Right, make a break for it. Come on! Ah! Oh, come on! I'm trying my best there. The E, but I'm trying to do that. I was navigating. Shit. This is not good. Well, you can lock doors in the sense that you can close them and the zombies can't go through. Might be infected already just from the scratch. Damn it! More of them are coming. Had to go into this building, didn't I? Just had to, right in the line. Oh no, this is where it gets really bad. I just gained skills in. Killed 97 zombies and only survived for 13 hours. So that would have made it. So it would have been 10 at night. Wow. Dead. Can load that and create a new character in that world, but not worth it. It would be worth seeing if I can get something like Fallout 4 in non-full screen. Let's have a check. Widescreen. Advanced. Oh, wait. Windowed mode. There we are. Let's give that a whack. Ugh. Fine. Let's do it this way. Wow. Definitely need to try. Display. Is that this resolution here? No, it doesn't. Let's give it another try. Try a new resolution. Options. Try this. Boom. Best score. I mean, there's no score as such, but the equivalent would be. At one point had something like a few hundred. Yeah, about 700 or so zombies killed. Longest I've survived was about a week. No, sorry. Longest I've survived was about 2 weeks, rather. So yes, it's difficult, but mind you, I always go for high zombie. I tend to feel like it's not a zombie apocalypse if I'm just doing a general survival thing. But suffice it to say, it gets difficult. It's funny though, normally, I mean, depending on the settings you can have it where it's sort of ages later, and then have it with lower zombies, but you could have very low supplies. And with that, I'd end up dying potentially of starvation if I'm not planting things and such like. And I'd need to do things like forage more, whereas in that it's the initial outbreak that I've set it with very high zombies.
You just say the word.
Usual. Obviously, look like competition. Oh yes, I forgot I'm with Deacon at the moment. Because I haven't travelled with him in ages. In fact, I actually made a compilation, well, making a compilation with Fallout 4, because as much as it is clearly unrealistic when it comes to close combat, it is still something that's quite fun to watch. The funny thing is I've been able to fight off the toughest monsters, the death claws in this. Come on. Is it going again? Is it going or not? Good. There we are. I've got my special weapon, which is called Big Jim. Basically, it's a wrench. It has a 20% chance to break the opponent's leg. And then, with my melee perks, I have a chance, unknown how much, of crippling in it. Well, a leg that I hit. Anyway, crippling a limb that I hit, rather. And then on top of that, I've used the extra heavy mod, which also adds an extra chance to cripple. So suffice it to say, if I hit a Deathclaw's leg, there's a strong chance it'll break with this thing. And then I can switch to my sword. Finish it off. I have, again, I don't know exactly why the buffering keeps happening. My best theory is that it's stupid encoding software. So at a later point I'll experiment with different ones, maybe see if they get better performance. Oh. Oh, I've reached 73. Gotcha.
Left anything useful for us?
Oh, I love this game. That's one of the reasons why my reviews are sometimes a bit difficult to do. I mean, I know the positives and the negatives, but I can end up sounding like I'm fanboying over everything, because I tend to have extreme reactions. Either I have something like DayZ, where I think, what the hell is this? This is abysmal, it's awful, it's just the grey soggy cardboard of the gaming world. Or it's a game like Fallout 4, I think, wow, love playing this, and then invest about 400 hours into it. But I think my most so far was Gary's mod, where I've had about, well, over 570 hours, I remember that. That reminds me of something nobody's noticed yet in my videos. I'm not going to say what it is, because someone needs to see it anyway.
Please, you do
Who are you?
Some man Skinny Malone turned out to be.
I'm going home to my parents. Screw those low-life gangsters.
Wait. That was a request that happened in-game months ago. Huh. Weird. Anyway. Let's see what we've got.
I can rest easy knowing that Wolfgang is rotten in hell.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
It's all worth every cap I'm charging.
Mm-hmm. Let's turn the tails. No, turn the tables. boot. 57 caps for that. Lovely. There we go. Ha! I come to a shop, and I end up being the one who makes money.